You're about to discover my 4-step formula to stop excessive sweating from any part of your body. And it starts working in just minutes. If you follow through with every step of this process, there's just absolutely no way your excessive sweating will continue. But before I do that, I'd like to tell you a little story about how I finally ended my own excessive sweating. Because as a former sweating sufferer, I think we've probably shared in a lot of the same experiences. See, just over 7 years ago, I started this goal of overcoming my excessive sweating. And at the time, I was buying every product on the market. I spent a lot of money on solutions that didn't do much. And every time I learned about the latest, greatest deodorant, I immediately would think, wow, this is it. I'm finally going to stop the sweating with this new super duper powder or antiperspirant. And I would jump on it. And after a few days, I would just be disappointed again. Now, I was trying everything that I could imagine. But really, I didn't have much of a plan. There was no focus or strategy to stopping my sweating problem. I was just sort of wide-eyed, at anything that I thought might possibly help. It turned out I suffered from a common condition known as hyperhidrosis. And it caused me to sweat excessively from different parts of my body due to uncontrollable hyperactive sweat glands. Excessive sweating was a problem, and it really began to consume my life. And I have to admit, even though it's pretty embarrassing in hindsight, I was a lot like this guy here. Yeah, that pretty much sums up how I felt all day. And I'm sure you already know, excessive sweating, it can really affect your daily routine. There was a time when I thought I would have to spend the rest of my life walking around with tissues in my pockets to constantly wipe the excessive sweat from my hands and forehead. And due to the sweat-induced odor, I had to plan around every occasion where I might possibly have to take my shoes off in the presence of others. It was really embarrassing. I remember I wore white t-shirts under my dress shirts at work and would lather on endless amounts of deodorant. And still, nothing could stop the sweat stains from appearing under my arms. The sweating started to impact my work as well. It left me feeling self-conscious during business meetings. My face would perspire for seemingly no reason, and I would blush at the feeling of all eyes on me. People would stop and want to chat with me in the office hallways, and out of fear, I would avoid any kind of confrontation, not wanting them to shake my hands or see the sweat stains on my shirt. My hyperhidrosis condition was so bad, it was starting to give me social anxiety. And the solution felt pretty hopeless. Really, at that point, I had just about resigned to the fact that excessive sweating was just something I had to live with. But there was this one final piece of me, this stubborn part of me, that just knew I could overcome this problem if I just set my mind to it. And I realized that I really needed to outsmart the sweating. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but I started thinking about all the sweat solutions I was putting in place, and I started to see that I was reacting to the problem rather than attacking it in a systematic way. So it was then that I really went to work, and I took action. I just spent months and months trying everything under the sun, all the different products out there, and everything that was pitched to me, and I did see some small improvements, but nothing that completely changed my life. And that was what I was really looking for. I wanted to have a system that would completely get rid of my problem and really transform my lifestyle. I didn't want to be self-conscious about it anymore. That's when I discovered a crucial strategy that was the missing ingredient in all of this. And it became the final straw that broke the camel's back and pushed excessive sweating completely out of my life. The missing piece of the puzzle was stacking. Stacking is combining specific anti-sweating tactics together to create a long-lasting solution. So for example, if you're using a clinical strength deodorant on your armpits and you're also avoiding specific foods that cause sweating, you'd be stacking two different solutions. Now at first, I really didn't know what I had done. I was just kind of throwing all this different stuff at the wall to see what would stick. So after I started seeing some improvement, I had to go back and analyze what worked and why. I continued to repeat the process and found even more treatments to stack into an overall complete regimen. This was tested by me to the point where I was stacking 11 or 12 different treatments, and I knew I was onto something. It was working. My sweating was going away and permanently. And this is how I finally came up with the 4-step formula to stop excessive sweating. And if you follow this formula, there's just no way you can fail. So here it is. TA plus TP plus TT plus S equals the excessive sweating cure. Now, I know this looks really strange, but I'm going to walk you through these acronyms and explain what I'm talking about. So first, TA stands for taking action, and this is really the first step. Now, I know this may sound like obvious advice, but the first step to making any of this happen is to commit to yourself that you're going to see this goal through and systematically go through the process until you succeed. And you will succeed. A lot of people, they'll take information and they'll do nothing with it. You know, I could show you every excessive sweating treatment in the world. And believe me, I'm going to. But it won't make any difference unless you make the conscious decision right now to take action and do something about your problem. If I could give you only one tip, it would be to set this goal for yourself right now. Write it down on a piece of paper, set it in stone that you're going to make this change for yourself. It's really as simple as following the guidelines given to you and discovering what works for your body chemistry. PT stands for proven techniques. You need to start out with treatments that have been tested and proven to work, or else you'll just be shooting in the dark. Now, you're looking for two different varieties of treatments here. The first type are changes that can be seamlessly interwoven into your lifestyle, like diet, deodorant choices, and natural supplements. And the second type are treatments that you can schedule at different times in the week or month to shock your body into stopping excessive sweating. These treatments have a cumulative effect that build upon each other over time to work in a collaborative effort to end excessive sweating for good. TT stands for testing and tracking. Each one of the treatments you'll be trying out takes between 3 and 7 days to take effect. You'll know for sure by the end of a week whether or not a solution is working. And once you come to the conclusion whether or not a treatment is effective, you're going to write down your results and start another treatment at square one with no additional treatments. Once you build up a nice little inventory of 3 or 4 treatments that you know work, you can move on to the next step, which is stacking. Stacking is where all your research pays off. You're going to stack together the solutions you've tried and further determine if it's overkill, meaning you're drying up too much, or if you have a nice balance of all the different methods. Now, a lot of people want to move right ahead to the stacking method, but that strategy will backfire on you pretty quickly, as you'll find out that adding too much to your routine is a surefire way to get your skin irritated, and that can be pretty uncomfortable. You're looking for a long-term solution here, so take the time to test what works, so you can interweave the most gentle and most convenient treatments into your lifestyle. After that, it just becomes rinse and repeat until you've found the most effective treatments for the results you desire. Now, I want you to get started on this journey right away. These are the same solutions that I used and many that I continue to use in order to stay dry and completely eradicate sweating from my life. And these are the solutions that I want to share with you in this complete sweat solver system. You will finally have the opportunity to feel dry, confident, and enjoy life like you haven't since your sweating became such a debilitating condition. With Sweat Solver, you get a systematic approach to ending excessive sweating from any part of your body in a step-by-step format. And here's how. The first phase of treatment involves gaining a complete arsenal of sweat-fighting strategies in a 33-minute video called Sweat-Free Tactics. This video was beta tested on over 12,000, that's right, it's 12,000 patients across the globe, and has had unanimously positive feedback. The success stories from my Sweat-Free Tactics video alone are worth the price of a year's worth of dermatologist appointments. But when it comes to the total value you'll receive in Sweat Solver, this is only the beginning. Next, you'll be getting my step-by-step video on how to build your own iontophoresis device at home. If you're unfamiliar with the concept, iontophoresis is a time-tested solution for palm and foot sweating that conditions your hands and feet to sweat less by delivering low-level electrical impulses. Most dermatologists offer this service for a hefty fee, but now you have the opportunity to perform this treatment in the comfort of your own home. This video shows you how without the high price tag of buying an expensive iontophoresis device. And just like for sweat-free tactics, this video was beta tested on the same lucky group of over 12,000 excessive sweating individuals. And over half of the people who used this method alone reported significant decreases to their hand and foot sweating. Many, in fact, needed only this treatment to completely get rid of the problem in less than 7 days. After that, I'll give you a complete breakdown of the 7 best deodorants for stopping sweating from any part of your body, including the face, hands, feet, armpits, and general torso region. If you're serious about excessive sweating, knowing these super effective antiperspirants is a must. Without knowing the secret ingredient they all have in common, you're just doomed to fail. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. Like you, I've tried close to 100 deodorants on the market, and these 7 are surefire winners. Next up, you'll learn how to stop excessive groin sweating. I know it's embarrassing to talk about, but this video takes the taboo right out of the condition. Here, I'll show you how to stop groin sweating using proven methods that work long term and take very little effort to implement. Shortly after, you'll be given a complete video tutorial on how to eliminate armpit odor. Yeah, it's kind of gross, but it's a fact of sweating. Odor just comes with the territory. Here you'll gain my 3 most valuable solutions to stop the stink before it even starts. And these aren't solutions to cover up armpit odor. These treatments neutralize the smell before it even begins. I'm then going to show you 2 key oils that I use weekly to condition my hands away from excessive sweating. It sounds simple, but the results will have you thinking otherwise. Once I started implementing these secret sauces into my weekly regimen, I gained a whole new level of confidence. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that these remedies changed my life forever. I'm then going to show you my 3 favorite sweaty feet soaks to condition feet away from excessive sweating and odor. They can be done weekly, daily, or even monthly depending on the severity of your foot sweating and their cooperation with your unique body chemistry. You'll also get my 3 face sweating stacks, a 3-part regimen that layers on facial sweating solutions until you feel the residual effects for weeks at a time. Say goodbye to your shiny, sweaty face forever after you begin these phenomenal treatments. I'm also going to be giving you my complete Hyperhidrosis diet guide to help you fight your sweating from the inside out. Quit contributing to your sweating by eliminating specific foods from your diet and start consuming the outlined sweat-fighting foods here. This works for everyone, and results can be experienced in as little as a few minutes. You can also put a stop to night sweating using a trick that I discovered years ago. And this cool tip will put a stop to you waking up in damp sheets and a cold, wet pillow. You can stay dry all night long. You'll also get corresponding MP3s, the downloadable ebook, and my bonus set of MP3s on how to overcome shyness and build confidence in social situations. It works for everyone, no matter where you sweat or what degree of sweating you suffer from. The bottom line is, you can end excessive sweating. It can be overcome, but not on your own. I've done the homework for you. I've put all this information together. Think of it as a simple blueprint you need to follow. It's a proven process to get back your life and to stop being afraid and embarrassed over this condition. Put off your happiness and continue feeling self-conscious, uncomfortable, and upset. I really can't stop you. I can only wish you the best. But if you're really interested in results to stop excessive sweating, this is the only system for you. Within minutes of downloading, you'll be introduced to a complete arsenal of sweat-fighting strategies that will ensure your immediate results and a newfound enjoyment of daily life. It's time to feel confident again. I can't stress enough how effective and life-changing SweatSolver has been for thousands of people just like you. Now, just a fair warning, this system will not be around forever, and I may take it down at any time. So please don't take this opportunity for granted. Tools to set you free. I've put those tools together for you. All you have to do is take the first step. Click the download button now and start creating your excessive sweating success story. I'll see you on the other side.